Let me know if this thing's sitting right. Is this sitting right?
Yes.
You sure? You sure it's sitting right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are you sure it's aimed right? It's aimed right?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you think they go down? It's on, right?
It's on. Yeah, it's on right. You gotta cut every part where it's on my forehead.
Huh?
We gotta cut every part where it was like.
All right, how'd everybody like that duck tour?
All right, awesome. Cool.
Of course, I am just gonna ask some rules and regulations we have to go over before we get on our way today. First off, I do ask you guys to refrain from smoking of any kind for the next 55 to 60 years. Or minutes, either one works. Next, gotta show you guys how to put on these stylish wearing safety vests here. We've never had to use them near the original ducks, so let me tell you, I do not plan on being the first today. However, if we do have to use them, all you have to do is stick your hand right through this hole here. Take this black strap, wrap it around your waist, clip it right back up in front, you'll be floating right down the Wisconsin River. Now, I have 23 adult life vests above, as well as 6 children life vests right above me here. Actually, I do have a quick question for you guys. Can anybody point out the emergency exits for me? Yeah, front, back, side, and up. Anywhere you don't see these green steel beams, should be all right. I do also ask you guys to keep your hands, feet, and other objects inside the vehicle on the trails today. We get close to some rocks and trees. However, when we're out on the water, you can let it all hang out. Just keep in mind, we are on a family tour. Now, I do also ask that you guys remain seated for the duration of our tour today. We don't need anybody standing up, falling out the side of the duck, anything crazy like that. Now, before we get going here, is this anybody's first duck tour? First time riders? All right. Look like quite a handful. Well, mine too. So I guess we'll just have to see how it goes.
See, they got the woods in there.
Boys and girls, welcome aboard the amphibious duck Polaire boat. My name is Caleb and I'll be your driver, your tour guide, and alligator wrangler for the next 8.5-mile journey. Half on land, half on water, and maybe if you're lucky just a little bit in the air. Our tour today will consist of 3 parts, 1 part Wisconsin Dells history, a second part Native American legend, and a third part what I like to call some food for thought. That's right, some grade A baloney. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide which is which and what is what. Our first one just on our tour today are these hand-carved granite statues you see inside the duck. These statues once set upon the Chicago Board and Trade Building until back in 1932. It was redecorated by the stick of dynamite. Now, following this redecoration, Miss Helen Brown purchased these statues to decorate her home, Dawn Manor. Please keep Miss Helen Brown and Dawn Manor in the back of mind today, as they both will be coming up later on in our tour. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, folks, is don't take these statues for granted. Now, it is my best joke, so if you guys did not like that one, well then, it may be a long tour. The duck we are riding on today. Polaire was made back in 1942 by GM manufacturers in Pontiac, Michigan. She was sold for a price of $10,000. They were used back in World War II and the Korean conflict to bring supplies and troops to shore. Now she's 8 feet 2 inches wide, 9 feet tall, 32 feet long, and weighs in at a slim and slender 7.5 tons. She can go anywhere from 6 to 8 knots in water, 45 miles an hour on land. And just the other day I was out on this Bering Trail and I got up to 150 miles an hour right off the edge of this cliff. Whoa, did we lose anybody up there? Oh, looks like you're all right. Now, if you do feel yourself pulling out the side of the dock today, just do yourself a favor and grab somebody and take them with you. Because I am not required to stop for just one person. If you happen to see any wildlife on our tour today, make sure you shout it out. I'll do my best to stop and give us a good look. And in the rare occasion we do not see any wildlife on our tour today, well then I'll just have to do the next best thing. I'll hand my mic off to my friend behind me here and he'll tell us all about his wildlife. Speaking of wildlife here, folks, it looks like we have our first sign of wildlife here on our left. Is everyone able to see it over there? Oh, it's just a little baby. You guys see it? Oh, it's just a little baby stop sign. Aww. Oh, they're so cute, aren't they? Baby stop signs just grow up so fast. We are now getting ready to enter one of the most dangerous parts of our tour today, known as the S-turns. I am required to ask you guys to reach underneath your seats, grab those red safety belts underneath you, buckle them up, you're right on our way. Gotcha.
I was like,
we have now descended into beautiful Ferndale, home to many different types of ferns, including the green fern, the red fern, the blue fern, the purple fern, the walking fern, the talking fern, the repeating fern, the repeating fern, the repeating fern, the interrupting fern, Phoenician fern, and my personal favorite, rarely seen here on our left, the invisible fern. Now you may have noticed a slight temporary decrease as we went into Ferndale today, and that is because of two reasons. These trees above act as a natural canopy blocking out most of the sunlight. And reason number two is these sandstone cliffs on either side of us lock in moisture, acting as a natural air conditioner, leaving it anywhere between 10 and 12 degrees cooler down here in Ferndale than any other part of the Wisconsin Dells. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, folks, is you're some of the coolest people here in the Wisconsin Dells. Gentlemen, the Pacific Ocean. A lot smaller person, I know. Of course, I am just kidding, but as we enter the river today, it may get a little bumpy. So I do ask with one hand, you guys brace that seat in front of you. Then make sure with your other hand, you plug your nose. Now I just disengaged the wheels, so you guys look off either side of the dock. You can see them slowly sinking to the bottom. Now a few facts about the river we are on today. The Wisconsin River is known as one of the hardest working rivers in the world. Starts up in the northern part of the state where it travels 430 miles diagonally through 27 hydroelectric dams until it empties out into the Mississippi River in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. Now you may also notice the river water is not exactly a nice blue or clear color as you may think it'd be. It's more of this brown or tan. However, that is not due to pollution or the water just being dirty. It's actually because in the northern part of the state, this water travels through a series of tamarack swamps. Now in these tamarack swamps are tamarack trees that secrete its tannic acid in the water, giving its color that we see here today. Now I know what you may be thinking, tannic acid, that sounds kind of bad. However, I assure you it is not. It's found in many drinks we consume each and every day, including coffees, tea, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and my personal favorite, which I polished off right before this tour, Jack Daniels. Roll on our left here all the way up to that mushroom-shaped rock in front of us. That's our first rock formation of our tour today, known as Pulpit Rock. Now, Pulpit Rock does have a little bit of a story that goes along with it. The story goes hundreds of years ago. A traveling preacher would preach his sermons on top of Pulpit Rock to the Native Americans in their birch bark canoes below. However, these sermons were kind of long-winded, so the Native Americans often fell asleep and drifted right downriver. Frustrated, that traveling preacher went into town and purchased a baby grand piano to spice up his sermons a little bit. He brought back that baby grand piano and began to play on top of Pulpit Rock, and all the Native Americans loved it. Everyone loved it so much nobody had noticed a storm had rolled through above, and a bolt of lightning came down and struck Pulpit Rock right in half, sending that traveling preacher all the way over into that tree there, the green one. Sending that baby grand piano right off the side of Pulpit Rock, where it still lies there today. Flag up against Pulpit Rock and keys facing the heavens. Everyone able to see that baby grand piano there? Now, how many of you guys believe my story? Hey, you can believe it back there? Yeah? Well, would you believe if I told you I can still get some music out of that baby grand piano? Thinking maybe a little bit of hard rock by the Rolling Stones. we follow the shoreline in front of us here all the way out to it meets a point with the river, and then look about 50 feet up. That's our second and most famous rock formation of our tour today, known as Hawks Beat. Now use your imagination to say a little bit. That top rock stand out there would be the Hawks Upper Beat. That lower rock kind of curved up there would be the Hawks Lower Beat. And the rock there in the middle would be the Hawks Tongue. Now you stretch your imagination to say a little bit further. That slit, the top rock there would be the Hawks Eye. And the slab of rock sticking out towards us would be the Hawks Shoulder and Wing. And it soars across the Wisconsin River. Does everybody see Hawks Peak up there?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Took me just a little over a month to carve. Down the river today, you guys may be curiously sandstone cliffs on either side of us. They're actually made up of a very rare type of sandstone known as Potsdam sandstone. Now Potsdam sandstone is so rare, it can only be found in 4 places in the world. Potsdam, Germany, where it gets its name. Zurich, Switzerland. Upstate New York, where it can only be found underwater. And this beautiful 10-mile stretch of the Wisconsin River. Now the stone is very brittle, so if I were to give a piece to each and every one of you today, you'd easily be able to crumble it up in the palm of your hand. Now it is also very porous and locks in a lot of moisture, which allows trees to grow on top of it with little to no topsoil. You may notice a little change in scenery. That big patch of land with no trees up there, it's actually caused by one of the worst natural disasters ever hit this area, the breach of Lake Delton. So it happened back in June 9, 2008. This area received a record amount of rainfall, causing artificial Lake Delton just over the hill there to rise 51.5 inches. Now all that water did have to go somewhere, so it rose up and broke through County Highway and the top of the hill, taking 4 vacation homes with it right into the Wisconsin River. Now all 267 acres of artificial Lake Delton emptied out in the Wisconsin River in just 2.5 hours. And when it was all said and done, it cost the village of Lake Delton $3.6 million in damages, as well as 3 months of the reconstruction of the hill we see here today, and the highway that runs on top of it. Now, if you are curious about how high the river water got that day, and if we just look off to our left here and see where the beach meets the trees, taking my tour 150 years ago today, off to our right, you would see the thriving city of Newport. Now, many people are moving into this area during the time because it was rumored the Milwaukee Lacrosse Railroad is going to build a bridge between these 2 points here over the river. So what people did is they moved into this area, bought up all the land, marked up the prices, and then tried to sell it back to the railroad company for a major profit. However, the owner of the Milwaukee Lacrosse Railroad Company, Mr. Byron Kilbourne, the smart man that he was, decided he could no longer afford the land here. So he took his bridge 2 miles upriver and established the city of Kilbourne, named after himself, which still lies there today. Now, almost overnight, the city of Newport turned into a ghost town. Luckily enough, it did, because soon thereafter, a wildfire swept through this area, burning down everything in its path. Besides for one home Dawn Manor, which I mentioned earlier, which we'll be seeing later on in our tour today. Getting ready to make our first amphibious landing on the tour today via Dell Creek ahead of us here. Now, Dell Creek does have some shallow spots, and ducks are known to get stuck in them sometimes. However, if that does happen today, do not worry. I have a foolproof plan. So what will happen if we do happen to get stuck in the creek today is all the big, strong men will move to the back of the boat, where we will then lower all the women and children into the freezing cold waters of the Wisconsin River, and they will then push us to safety. How's that sound, guys? Good? Okay? Of course, I am just kidding. The river water isn't really that cold. a mighty fine dam we have here on our left. The W.J. Newman Dam was built back in 1927 to hold back the rushing waters of Del Creek, forming artificial Lake Delton. Upon the breach back in 2008, the village of Lake Delton added an 80-foot spillway off to the right to make sure nothing like that would ever happen again. I guess now would be the perfect time for you folks to take all the damn pictures you'd like.
Yeah, that's your hotel.
To the lake today, fast or slow?
Fast.
Fast? Alright, I do have to warn you, there may be a slight mist that comes over the front of the dock, getting myself in the first few rows just a little wet. But that's nothing compared to the 30-foot tidal wave that comes over the back. So if you have any pairs of belongings on the ground, I suggest you pick them up now. Anything that washes up here, I get to sell on eBay. I do also ask that you guys brace yourselves. So you guys in the water today, make it lurch forward just a little bit.
We do that again?
Okay, do that again.
Yeah, our hotel, I think, is over. Our hotel, I think, is over there. I'm not sure. You were calling that one. On the lake. Ahead of us, past those trees, is Noah's Ark's water park. And just in front of the tree line there, that just so happens to be my mansion.
Is this a townhouse?
that home I mentioned earlier, Dawn Manor. Now, Dawn Manor was built back in 1855 by Captain Abraham Vanderpool. Mr. Vanderpool was quite the local celebrity at his time. He was a Civil War hero, a co-signer of the Wisconsin State Constitution, and close friend of our 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. It's actually rumored that Abe Lincoln spent a few nights here in this very home. Now, following the passing of Captain Abraham Vanderpool, the house went through a series of owners until at the hands of Miss Helen Robb. Now, Miss Robb was quite the world traveler, and she liked to gather priceless artifacts to decorate her home with, which still lie there today, giving the home an estimated value of just over $1.5 million. No matter how bad I want to bring you guys inside of Dawn Manor today, I cannot for two reasons. Reason number one is Dawn Manor and all the land around it is all still privately owned by the Robb family still today. And reason number two is no matter how good of a duck driver you guys may think I am, I just don't think I can fit this big green machine right through those front doors. However, I'll try to do the next best thing and towards the end of our tour today, I'll show you guys some pictures of the inside of Dawn Manor, as well as a portrait of Miss Helen Robb herself. Off to our right, this is actually where the breach occurred. You can imagine before, across the street, that was all wooded area. On this side of the street where all those rocks lay there now, there used to be those 4 vacation homes. Now all that water rose up and broke through this entire landmass you see in front of us and emptied out right in the Wisconsin River. And luckily enough for me, it just missed my summer home here on the left. Scenic Park, home to many different types of wildlife, including the white-tailed deer, turkeys, badgers, squirrels, rabbits, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! If I happen to see any lions or bears on our tour today, make sure you shout it out. I'll do my best to swerve and hit them. I know you may be thinking, Caleb, why would you want to hit such creatures? As you may know, here at the original Wisconsin Ducks, we are all die-hard Green Bay Packer fans. But not to worry, I don't think we'll be seeing any lions or bears on our tour today. Because just this morning I went all the way around Dell Scenic Park and I painted a white goal line. You know how hard it is for lions and bears to cross those.
Wow. Maybe he thinks you're gonna feed him. I think he thinks you're gonna feed him.
You know, that deer gets paid a lot of money to stand there all day. She makes a lot of dough. Sometimes if she's lucky, she even gets a few bucks. just out of curiosity, by a show of hands, do we happen to have any Lions or Bears fans on our tour today? Lions or Bears back there? No? None? That's alright, I wouldn't want to admit it either. If you're a Lion or Bear fan today, this would actually be your stop. I'm just kidding, but now that I say Bears, that just kind of reminds me of a story I'd like to share with you guys. Yes, the other day I was out on this berry trail actually when I heard somebody crying. And I thought, that's pretty strange. We're out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. Who would be crying out here? So I walk around this little while and I find out it's this little baby bear crying. So I walk up to that baby bear and I said, baby bear, why are you crying? And baby bear looked at me and said, Caleb, all the bigger bears here just keep on beating me up. So I gave that baby bear the best advice that I had. I said, baby bear, what you gotta do is pack up your bags, move down to Chicago. The bears down there don't beat anyone. Needless to say, I have not heard from that baby bear since. Of course, all jokes aside here, guys, do we happen to have any roller coaster fans on our tour today? Do you guys like roller coasters? Yeah? That's good, because we're approaching Roller Coaster Hill. Six Flags. Alright, who wants to go on that one again? And one more time? Backwards this time, right? Of course, I never tried this one out before, but give her a shot. If you guys would move your heads over just a little bit, so I can see at the back. Perfect. Alright. Of course I am, just kidding. I like my job. We are now stopped on top of Last Look Point. The Last Look Point gets its name for two reasons. Reason number one, this is the last good look at Wisconsin River we get on our tour today. And reason number two is we are stopped on top of a really steep cliff. It's maybe one of the last good looks any of us have. But not to worry, if you are scared like I am, well, you can always just cover your eyes. I never remember if it's a left or a right up here. Of course I am, just kidding. Safety is the number one priority here at the Original Ducks. Like just this morning I came out here and I personally installed this steel mesh barricade on the right to protect us. I know you may be thinking, Caleb, that is just chicken wire. How could that ever hold us back? Well, I can tell you the Hank of the hardware store who sold it to me said, if it can hold back a chicken, it can most certainly hold back a duck. Now on the left, this lake of the Dell was founded in 1943 with one sole purpose in mind. It's a breeding ground for Wisconsin's summer state bird, the mosquito. We don't like mosquitoes very much here at the Original Ducks, so at the end of the summer, we package them up in this brown crate here, send them off to our friends in Minnesota. Kind of like what we did to Brett Favre. The turtle over here, if you guys see it too.
Yeah, that would be a snapping turtle.
We have now entered the Lowland Trail. However, the Lowland Trail has some of the best scenery on our tour today. So for that reason, I am just going to shut off my mic and let nature do all the talking. Making our way up a Redbird Gorge. And you remember me telling you earlier, the duck we are on today is 8 feet 2 inches wide. And in Redbird Gorge, the most narrow point is 8 feet 6 inches wide, giving me just 4 inches to work with. Black Hawk Gorge, as you guys may have guessed, named after a famous Native American chief. That's right, Chief Gorge. Now, if I do remember correctly, I believe Chief Gorge had a son named Boy Gorge, and Boy Gorge had a famous pet monkey named Curious Gorge. Now that I think of it, I think Chief Gorge also had an older daughter. And I can never seem to remember her name. But boy, let me tell you, she was gorgeous. We are now making our way up Turkey Hollow, or as we like to call it here, the original Wisconsin Ducks, Lover's Lane. Trees that we like to call our dogwood trees, known for the really rough bark. And coming up on our left is our U.S. government tree. You guys can tell because of all the crooked branches. The Helen Robb tree plantation. Now, you may remember me telling you earlier, years ago, a wildfire swept through this area. So Miss Helen Robb, being the naturalist that she was, decided to replant these trees in the most natural way she thought possible. Perfectly straight rows. Guys, now's the part of the tour where I go around and collect those red round trip tickets you've got at the docks. Of course I am. Just kidding. I have some pictures I want to show you guys here. They're all found inside this book here, Old Trails and DuckTales. The first picture I'd like to show you guys is a picture of County Highway A. This is the location in which we crossed today during the breach.
And on the very next page here, it's a picture of some of the homes getting swept into the water there.
Oh, sorry.
Now if we turn the page here, some aerial pictures of before and after the breach. And on the right, that's a picture of Lake Delton almost completely drained.
Oh my gosh.
Now we turn a few more pages here, pages 25 and 26, that pictures the inside of Dawn Manor, as well as a portrait of Miss Helen Robb herself.
Hey. Attention, you're gonna get in trouble.
I want to go home.
And now if we go to the very last page here, this is a picture of some of the trails I was supposed to bring you guys on today. I also have some picture postcards here. There are 9 of them in total. 7 of them of the Ducks still in action today. And there's also 2 of the Ducks back in action in World War II, which I happen to take myself. As you guys may have guessed, these books and postcards are for sale today. $2.50 of the book, $2.50 of the postcard, but today's low price, $5 for both. Let me explain myself just a little bit. These books and postcards are part of a program set up by Ducks Management. Make sure that us duck drivers do our best each and every time we're out on the trails. So anything that comes back from these books and postcards comes straight back to me, your duck driver today. I'll use it for upcoming expenses I have, college, etc. So that being said, I guess I will tell you guys a little bit about myself, so we're not complete strangers on our tour today. My name is Caleb. I'm 20 years old. This is my 3rd year driving here at the Original Ducks. I grew up around this area, graduated Wisconsin Dells High School just 2 years ago. I just finished up my 2nd year at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I'm studying pre-med there. I'm also a student manager for the university's football team there as well. This is enough about me. Thank you. This is enough about me, guys. Inside these books is tons of information about the trails around today. Lots about the Duck Company, a lot about the rich history of this area. Way better than I ever could have told you guys in the short time I had with you. But you understand that is a lot of information thrown at you guys at one time there. But if you are interested in these books and postcards, I'm just going to make my way from the back, work my way up to the front. If you are interested in those books and postcards, just let me know. I'll get you all set up with one of those there.
Don't mind.
No, you got
With cash. Yeah, okay.
You stink. You're stink. I do. Daddy stink. Stop
Books and postcards back here.
Okay, I think we have 5 last time, right? Did we get the cash?
Aww.
Is it 5 or 50?
Yeah.
I have 5 in here.
I do. Yeah. I actually don't know. I don't want it. I just want to give it to you.
5? I thought I saw 5 in here.
Oh, I think we gave it as a tip and we were eating there at the thing, so we gave the 5.
Oh, we can get change on.
Okay.
We can get change for a 10.
Thanks, guys.
We'll get one. We'll give you a change.
Here's that sweet. Thank you, I appreciate it. Now, if you guys do have any questions about the trails you're on today, anything about the Duck Company, the Dells area, myself, whatever it may be, now would be the time to ask. Any questions for you guys here?
Why was that Rob lady famous again?
Helen Robb, she was just she was a world traveler, and so well, I think majority for at least for our tour today, we have the the Heller tree plantation there. I think a lot of the land was actually donated to her from her to us for this trail back when. And also, I mean, she was just more famous for being in this area. That home, especially, the home is more famous than I think her, because it's obviously it's survived 2 natural disasters. You would say that whole wildfire.
I didn't know if it was like in the government way back then.
Not that I know of. There might be a little bit of information about her in the book there. But yeah, had a nice home that survived 2 disasters. That that's pretty cool. So that's more of a historical landmark, and we know whose home it was during that time. But yeah. Any other questions you guys do have for me here? No? You got one? What's your question? Questions for me here. We're just going to be pulling the loading docks in just a few moments, but I do have to warn you, I have a few more cheesy jokes on our way there. But not to worry, we are in Wisconsin, so the cheesier the better, right?
It is a series of steel sheds. That's where our ducks hibernate all winter and party all summer long. That tan building in the middle, that's where we house our 7 year-round duck mechanics that we love dearly. We like to call them our quack doctors. However, like all good doctors, you know, you cannot save them all. That's why coming up around the left, we have our duck graveyard. May they rust in pieces. Now, to have everyone here at the Original Wisconsin Ducks, as well as myself, I'd like to personally thank you guys for coming on my tour today. Just remember, if you did like my tour, my name was Caleb. And if you did not like my tour, well then, maybe my name was Gavin. I was going to the loading dock today to ask you guys to remain seated, so I make sure the loading ramp is down and it is safe for you to exit. And when it is safe to do so carefully. And enjoy your beautiful stay here in the Wisconsin Dells area. Thank you again for riding on my tour today.